What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Alan in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert, Andrew, Andy, Bill, Brad, Brian, Dragons in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Emily. Good morning to Frank, Joe, JT, Keith, Kevin, Martina, Michael. We got the squadron, and we got Mike. Good morning to you. Good morning to Ray, Rick, Rob, Russ, Shane, Tim, UV in the house. Good morning to Walter. All my people out in YouTube land, we got Mustafa in the house. Good morning from Tokyo. We got all my lurkers in the background of YouTube. Just not gonna say anything all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. Whew. Wild day. 10 o'clock. We got Jerome Powell speaking from Jackson Hole. Market was very annoying and very sleepy yesterday. Just I think waiting for Jerome Powell today. So we got about an hour, less than, I believe 10 a.m. So what is that, 57 minutes from now? We should see the Jerome Powell speech, and we'll see how the market wants to react. Shortly after that, Trump, I think, is supposed to make a big announcement at 12, and we'll see if that has anything to do. Interesting timing, because I think last time Jerome Powell was speaking, Trump jumped on and he spoke at the same time. So I don't know if there was, again, on purpose or it was a good way to kind of distract the markets from Jerome Powell a little bit. So we'll see what Jerome says, and then Trump gets the follow-up for today. I would expect some volatility. I would expect a little bit of volatility today. But markets overnight kind of sold off pretty decently hard. We got, I think, to the low of Wednesday's candle in futures last night, and already we've been bouncing back in an okay spot. Risk to reward wise, I don't know. To the higher side from here, well, we'll go through that other one in a second, but to the higher side, my targets today would take us to 639.06. We've got the low end of this one somewhere around, we should have support around 636.24. Maybe we get back to 635.92. I don't think that would be the strongest sign unless it's a. If we're down at 635.92, I want to be there for as little time as possible, get some kind of a quick bounce, and then get another close back above the 636.24. Otherwise, I'd be looking for 636.24 as my support. They're not going to make it too easy. We do have a previous pivot from back in July. We've been through it a few times, but that should have been our support resistance. We're opening right below it at this point. So 637.38. If we get above it, I think that's our first sign that potentially we at least kind of come in and retest the 639.06 zone. So we'll see. And then even to the lower side, if we're just using the older, go back a little bit, 636.78. It's a little support. I don't know if they matter as much as the recent ones, though. We've been through both of those a lot. So we'll see. We are coming to Jerome Powell with, besides one green day, we got one, two, three, four down days in a row. We've already pulled back to a decent, I think that's about the 50% pullback spot from that last move. Market is primed to go. We're still above the 20. We still have all those EMAs looking good. So everything is still shaping up for the bulls. We just need Jerome Powell to give the market something dovish. Come in dovish, and the market could push. And if he could do that, I don't think Trump then wrecks the market. If anything, I think if Jerome Powell comes in hawkish, I don't know what the big announcement is or the topic, but I'm sure Trump is going to take questions regardless, even if it's not Jerome Powell related, markets related. There'll probably be some questions in regards to whatever happened with Jerome Powell, and maybe Trump gets to save the market. We'll see. Otherwise, we got Qs. A little bit of a gap up for today. We are gapping above yesterday's opening price. Yesterday was again small day, small high, decent range, but small in general. Not a big close. Kind of a scarier close where we did close below the prior day VPOC, 630 6 563.65 was where we should have found support. Could not do it yesterday, but today we are bouncing right back above it. Couple levels of resistance, 565.47, and let's see, the next big one I guess would take us to 567.06. If we can start climbing above that, if we can get a close above that, There is a few other resistance in the way, but I think that's our bigger one. So if we could get anywhere past this 567.13, and then the next one to look at is like 569.18. But already decent pullback in the market. I think it's we had the dip last night. They did buy it up. They're still showing me that there is some interest in this market. We just need cooperation from the one and only J Pal. We got Bitcoin looking a little rough still. Uh, Yesterday was a bearish engulfing candle. Again, we kind of came up. We retested some resistance. We failed. This to me looks like we just put in on Wednesday a little bit of a bullish resting candle, continuing this downtrend. We got a bearish engulfing yesterday. We are still making lower VPOCs, and I don't think we're ready to bounce yet. Obviously, today's candle still open. If we could climb and get a close back above 113,700, that would set us up for maybe a little bit of a double bottom look to it. For right now, it looks like it is wanting to come a little bit lower. We almost got down to that first support, somewhere around 111,286. If we can't hold that, we got room down to, I think, ultimately back to like this 109.80 zone. So we'll see if we could, we'll see which way crypto wants to go, Bitcoin wants to push. But for right now, it still looks a little bit to the weaker side. All right, we got a couple tickers that have come in. We got Apple. Yep, if you guys got other tickers you want to take a look at, let me know as well. Um, in terms of a pullback, it's not big enough. Let's see where where a better spot would be risk to reward wise. Yeah, we've just broken the 23% retracement. I think your next stop probably, and maybe it bounces from here. Who knows? I don't think I could be buying this one until give me at least the 50% retracement. There's a little support around 219.43. So in a longer term sense, I don't think we have swing traders coming in. If I was a long term investor, which I do own Apple long term, I'm not stepping in here. I would need a much bigger pullback. I think the only thing we really have is maybe some swing traders, maybe some day traders buying this up here. Otherwise, there's probably better opportunities for some some investors to hop in. Even as a swing trader, I don't think I'd be here. So maybe we get day traders that continue to support us up. Other than that, we do have a gap to go for today. Still inside day candle, and I'd be looking at 226.73. The reason I'm talking about swing traders, the reason I'm talking about long-term investors, if you could find spots where they're interested as well, and then maybe day traders could be interested in buying. Now you have a that kind of creates that buy spot. This is just too big of a run. We do have one, two, three, four, five, six down days in a row. However, one, two, three, four of them essentially all inside days. So I just don't think it's a big enough pullback yet. But if you're interested, I would see if you could get above probably 226.74. Get a couple candles that close. There might be some room to the higher side. A full on retest would take us up to like 230.58. There's going to be some resistance in the way, but for me, I think this one's just chilling. I think looking to go short somewhere around 226.65 still makes the most sense. We closed pretty much at a random spot. I don't really have anything really support wise till 223.52. We got kind of close to it. We didn't really touch it yet, so I would probably shelf Apple for me. I don't think we have enough edge on that one for today. CHWY. CHWY is throwing in a two high wave candles at the top after a big move. Again, same thing with Apple on this one. It's had a nice push. That's not enough of a pullback to really interest me. However, I think if we could get past, if we get some candles that close somewhere above 40.83, maybe we have enough for like a swing trade. We could throw a stop then at that point, somewhere around 39.74. We're approaching, even though we have a gap and go, we're just sitting inside day candle for today and staring down the 1, 2, 3, 4 day resistance that is built into this. So If this goes higher, I think I would look for a short. I think you have a better risk reward to short side. That's a tough resistance to get through. Otherwise, $40.14 would be your target for today. Anything past that, you should have some room back to like 39.21. It does not sound very appetizing, but Chewy and Frog. Yeah, Chewy Frog. I was gonna have that for breakfast, but I ran out of frogs, so no breakfast today. Frog looks a little bit better though, approaching a pretty significant potential double top, which would land us somewhere in the vicinity of 47.38. We are above a lot of volume. Frog doesn't look bad. Uh, Looks like one of those megaphones, which is an actual setup. So we're kind of making those higher highs, higher lows, definitely some volatility. We are at the higher end of this one as well. So we'll see if we could break through, come back, retest for a breakout. Otherwise, we can see something like that too. It is a breakout pattern. But that looks good for yesterday at least. And we're not giving anything back. We're actually gapping up 2 pennies from the close. So maybe continuation. I think this one has to come back for a retrace first. I think if we're going to try this one, 46.01 would be your spot. You do have some high volume candles you're kind of breaking out as well. So there's your last breakdown. Both of these candles. We finally got above that second one. We consolidated. I would be considering Frog if it pulls back to stay bullish. See if you get some continuation for today. Put that one a little bit higher. We got Hood. We got Palantir. Mm, Hood and Palantir. Nice hammer-ish high wave 2 days ago. So on Wednesday on Hood. We know Bitcoin still looks a little bit rough. If Bitcoin could kind of wake up a little bit, that would be a plus at least for Hood, I think. You are decently off the tops. I think we got to what, 117.50-ish, somewhere in that zone. So if we can make it back to that spot, that gives you about $9 higher from here. Your stop, I think, on a swing would be somewhere around $99. We'll call it that. So that's about almost a 1.2 if you get all the way back to the top. I think you probably hit a couple zones of resistance. First big one I think we have that we haven't really retested. We got close. Somewhere around this 108.64 zone. Today's open, not that impressive. So it does look like we had a bullish inside candle. We actually did make one new higher high from Wednesdays. That turned into a little bit of a trap. The only thing that might be decent, again, during Jerome Powell's speech, if he does come out dovish, if he starts signaling, I think he comes out data dependent. And from what we heard from Hammock yesterday, based on the recent data that we had, he's not thinking we should have a rate cut. So I don't know how the market's going to treat that, but I think Jerome Powell comes out data dependent today. If he does come out dovish, Hood might be one to watch. Again, it's really high up there, but I really want to see us get back to this 108.58 zone first. If we could do that, maybe we have some more upside. Otherwise, I think this looks a little weaker. Anything else that could get deeply affected by Jerome Powell today? Anything pretty much IWM, anything SoFi, anything interest rate sensitive. Um, I'm trying to think of a few other good ones. I mean, even Snapchat, I think can see some benefits scrolling down the list. But any of the companies that would really be interest rate sensitive, if he comes out dovish, those are the ones that would move. SoundHound, I think, is one that would probably benefit from some lower interest rates as well. So we'll see. But otherwise, I think we're just still in a little chop. I guess your first sign for today, at least, get back above this 106.61. My challenge would be if you are trying to go bullish from there, we got trapped almost twice now, and you have that resistance, so it doesn't give you much room to work with. Still very interesting hammer or hammered high wave-ish. and decent volume on it. But I think all of this could be the retest, and I think I like it to the downside a little bit more than the bullish side. Palantir, the true momentum stock of 2025. Not coming in with the same momentum today. A little bit of a gap down. You're still kind of in that range where I think we're stuck with the same hood tech. And that would be a yeah. If Palantir starts going, maybe watch hood as well. Maybe that would be your catalyst. But for today, inside day, we are opening lower than yesterday's VPOC. Probably at open we get bought up, but watch this 156.06. If we start getting rejected there, you probably have room back to the 153.32 zone. If we break that, we've already come down pretty far on some of those retests. But I think you'd be looking at 142.32 again, and maybe some of those lower spots. If we could get above yesterday's VPOC, which firmly sits at 156.17, you do have some room higher. We almost came up for that retest, didn't quite get there. 158.55 would be your next spot. Anything above that, you have one last spot to hold us back, 160.52, and then we're back to free range. Palantir again, just straight running, where nothing is in the way to about 173. So a little bit of a chop zone here. We'll see if that was a good retest from yesterday. We just got to get back above. Maybe they can get up there pre-market. They're trying, but if we get that open above the 156.18 zone, 156.16, then we might have some room. We did come in for that retest, and maybe yesterday was a little bit of a resting day, which it seems like it was for most of the market. Tiva, nice breakout candle yesterday. That looks good. Getting above all the volume in the world. We got nothing really holding us back. A little bit of a retest gap for today, opening into some resistance. I would see if this one could pull back a little. Problem with that pullback is volume is kind of high. I thought that volume was low and we'd have to wait for this whole thing. I would expect probably a pullback to like 1877, see how it wants to interact there. If we could hold it, there's plenty of room to the higher side on Tiva. Let's put this one higher. Pharmaceuticals always a little tricky. I don't know if pharmaceuticals going to be mattering as much, but healthcare looked good yesterday. UNH, PFE, all those guys looked pretty decent yesterday. So maybe we're starting to see a little shift back into pharmaceuticals. But again, I think it's going to weigh probably heavily on Jerome Powell. And again, I don't think Trump's announcement has anything to do with healthcare. But if it does, Teva, pharmaceuticals, anything healthcare related would be in the direct fire, and maybe this reverses. But a little bit of long-term resistance, nice breakout candle. I would expect continuation. See if you get that pullback first. HPE. It's another decent day yesterday. A little bit of a gap and go. Did we close anywhere important? We kind of had a really good close on HPE yesterday. Where's the next resistance? I mean, this is an old one. Old resistance, $22, and then I think you got room up to like 22.42. Probably with that green candle yesterday, I would love to see a pullback 21.77. That would get me best risk reward, but that looks like it's trying. Looks like it's trying. Let's see if we can get a little selling that comes in. Even that retest, decent. Yeah, actually came right back in the 21.43 zone. So yeah, I think HPE looks decent. Not too bad. Let's see. Bijal says back from vacation, Costa Rica. Nice. Let's see. We got 3350, and then let me know if you guys got other tickers you want to take a look at too. Short list today. Short list so far. That's usually a sign for the markets when we don't really have too many. When we get a lot of tickers coming in, we get a lot of movement. When we're quiet, that's not a good sign. But that could change in 30 minutes. 3353. Well, there's your pullback. I'd much rather be buying this one here than up here. That does look a little head and shoulders. But you're probably coasting right now around that 50. You still have that 200 EMA to hold you up. You have 3 days in a row of this. Obviously, today is still open, but for now, you have 3 days in a row where you have some higher VPOCs, which is not bad. Your key to this one, get above this candle. But I think for now, the closer you can buy 833, the better. You're probably throwing some kind of stop around 799. I'm just that fast? Maybe. No, a lot of times you guys are still throwing out like the real busy days. You guys are still throwing tickers out by like 11 a.m. I'm like, I can't cover. DraftKings still looking a little peppy. That is a heck of a lot of green days in a row. I would expect a small retest. Lower interest rates. I don't know how much debt DraftKings has. I think they have a little bit. Those companies with the debt, those are the ones you really want to target. But in a weird sense, if we lower interest rates, that throws us into risk on environment. That should be good for crypto. I would actually watch like Mar, the riots, things like that. But risk on scenario, money becomes a lot cheaper, and I think that does trickle down to benefit any of the sports betting apps. So we'll see. Very good location that we're opening. I do think we could get a retest on this one. That should be a very strong support, somewhere around 46.10. We struggled with that zone yesterday, although breached it briefly. But somewhere around 46.10, there's a lot of room. There's not really much volume holding us back. I think our next target takes us up to about 48.54. All those moving averages look good. We're a little far extended from the 20, but if we get a little bit of a pullback, watch that 46.16 zone, and we might have a decent day trade on DraftKings. Plenty of room to go. Only thing that could come in to squash our dreams would be Jerome Powell. We got MU. Okay, throwing in a little bit of a gap and go. I know there was a little concern on MU. You guys brought this one up yesterday. It was selling off. All we really did was hang out inside day. We came in. We've already retested the VPOC from Wednesday, so that's now kind of checked off the list. Still inside day. If we get a pullback, watch for some kind of support around 116.36. If this is going to be a little failed gap and go. Otherwise, decent open, and I think you got targets up to about 118.84. That's already been. We never really came back for the recheck on that one. Small on that day we did on Wednesday, and then just kind of dropped off. Other than that, I think that's a spot we struggle with today, so maybe that's my targets. Otherwise, I think if this gap and go holds and we can get above that Wednesday candle, we're looking at like 120.90. So might be setting up probably a little choppy. I think this one will have dips in it. Maybe very interesting buy the dip on MU. That is a good pullback spot already. So unlike Apple, which is kind of just sitting up a little too high, MU's already had a decent pullback after a nice bullish break. Still facing that double top, but plenty of room before we have to even know if that double top could break. So MU, we'll throw that one much higher on the list as well. We got FSLR. Nope. There we go. Staying above the moving averages, which is great. We got a gap and go still inside day. I think this one probably fades at open and then watch for some kind of support around 192.93. That would be your better location to buy. Otherwise, there's not really much holding you back, at least near term, until 202.65. If that gap and go wants to pick up some volume, you're very, very close to breaking out of longer term volume with then nothing holding us back from that point. Maybe interested in a swing on this one, but again, I'd watch this one, see if it pulls back just a tad, get some better risk reward on it. We've already broken down some key spots of support, but that's after a nice bigger gap. So yeah, I kind of like it bullish. Trump has been making a couple solar comments recently that he doesn't like. Again, I don't know what his meeting is at 12, but he's been talking poorly about solar recently. First Solar, if he does come around and say anything positive, should be the first benefactor, the bigger one. You got, yeah, Paramount. Beautiful move yesterday. Incredible close. It almost looks like it was in a different stock market. Nothing else looks like nothing else looks like this one. You have a little bit of resistance, probably up to like the 1623 zone. I think we probably hit that one yesterday. Today, after that move, we did hit resistance. We're gapping. It's gap and go to the downside. All of that momentum. I don't want to play this thing bearish. If this thing pulls back a little bit, I think I'd be looking for ways to try to figure out how to get into this one. Really, I would like a much bigger pullback on this one. Probably down to, I don't know if we get this. $13.95. I don't think we get that. I think the best we get is probably 14.35, and I'd be okay trying at 15.09. But gap and go to the bear side after an incredible day. Momentum definitely stepping in on Paramount. It's got a big potential upside to it, so risk reward is definitely there for long term. It's for swing traders. If we could get a good setup on the day trade, we get some day traders interested. Yep, Paramount might be pretty decent. SMCI. SMCI. Cindy says, I went halfway into the massive bull candle for a long position. There you go. So looks like, yeah, that is your cup of tea. That is your specialty. I think it does have some more room if we could just clear that little double top. SMCI, that was 2 big days, so maybe some resting days is needed. Still hanging out in that Wednesday candle. Still looks a little bit weak to me for SMCI. I guess if you want some risk reward, you're just going to the low end of that Wednesday candle. Throw your stop there. Bigger volume, somewhere around 42.34. And we don't have good earnings to kind of help boost us up. So I think this one comes lower. I can make a case that you have risk reward to a bull side, but I think this one probably comes down a little bit lower. Next target is $40.80. After that, 39.63. I think your real big one, if we make it back to like 38.38, that should be your spot where probably a lot more bulls might be interested in picking up, nibbling some shares. I can even see 33.76, but SMCI looks a little bit weak. I think that would be a sell the rip if we get it, which it is ripping. It's at that resistance right now, and that is the morning opening bell. So make sure you guys on YouTube land hit that like and subscribe button if you've not done so already. Other than that, you guys are incredible, and expect some volatility today. Otherwise, we'll see how this plays out, and we'll recap on Monday. You guys are awesome. Later, guys.